Marhaba, everyone. Very nice to see you all. We are going to start straight away with a reading before I even welcome our speakers and our lovely students from Gaza, we are incredibly proud to have here with us. They are blessing us with their presence. So let's start straight away with the reading, and then we will proceed with the introduction of the section. May I introduce Khulud Abul Ajayer from Gaza. She is one of our students. They came and made us cry with their application, which was incredibly touching. So let's give Khulud an applause. She's a psychologist from Gaza. She's completing a master in applied child psychology here at Sussex.
الراية البيضاء للينا خطاب. الدم بلل الراية البيضاء وتناثر السلام وطار الحمام، ولم يبقى سوى موت يلوح على الطرقات. وقفنا هنا نلملم أحلام الأطفال، أهم ماتوا وبقيت الألعاب؟ ودعنا الجميع على العتبات وأودعنا الوصايا والأمنيات. تركنا خلفنا الكثير ومضينا نتلمس فجراً جديداً، ينسينا رصاصة موت وقذيفة غادرة في البيت القديم. غابت الضحكات وذبل الياسمين، وخيم الحزن بظلاله على الشرفات. مشينا وقد أثقلنا بملامح العابرين، وبقي طابع التعب متجذراً في الذاكرة. ازدحمت الشوارع كأن يوم الميعاد حل. من بدل المدينة؟ أين ذهبت المساجد؟ ومن دمر الكنائس وأحرق الدفاتر؟ من طمس أنوار المدينة والأفراح؟ بقينا هنا وحدنا نصارع الأيام. سالت دماءنا تجري في المدينة المنكوبة بالوطن المسلوب، وتعالت أصوات القذائف مع رفع حق نقد لوقف إطلاق النار. كأن الإنسان هنا زهيداً لم يتحرك ساكن هناك، واستمر الجوع والبرد ينهش أوصال النائمين أمام أعين العالمين. White Banner by Lina Khattab. Blood soaked the white banner, bees scattered in vain. The doves took flight, only death waved in the streets. World fell silent, tears turned into stone. We stood gathering children's dreams, but they perished. Only toys remained. We bid farewell at every threshold, entrusted wills and wishes to the wind, left so much behind, stumbled on, groping for dawn, a dawn to make us forget. The bullets sting, the shells betrayal. In the old house, laughter faded, jasmine withered, grief loomed over balconies like shadow. We walked on, weighed down by strangers' stares. The stamp of exhaustion itched a memory. The streets swelled. It was Judgment Day. Who reshaped the city? Where are the mosques? Who shuttered the churches? Who burned the school books? Who put out the city's lights, its joy? We stayed alone, battling time. Our blood seeped through crossed streets, through the plundered homeland, explosion bloomed as ceasefires were voted. Here, life is cheap, nothing stirred. Hunger and cold gnawed at the limbs of the sleepings, while the world looked on.
Shukran, Khulud. Your words are precious to us. Let me give a bit of introduction to the event and why we are here. So the event is held as part of our Palestine Interdisciplinary Dialogues, which is a network of scholars here at Sussex that grouped together at the end of last year in despair, not knowing what to do. Our main purpose is to normalize the conversation about Palestine, which is often silenced in many locations. We started in last term. We had several events. By June, we had an event in which 100 people attended. This is working. There is interest. People want to hear the voices of Palestinians, and our mission is to give voice to Palestine and to the Palestinians. This particular event is the launch of the book, We Are Still Here. And I would like to welcome, first and foremost, the students that have joined us. This is a book written by students and facilitated by Jacob Norris and Zahid Pranjal, who I'm going to introduce in a second. This is very, very much important for them. It's important for all of us. The stage today is the student stage. We are just facilitators. We are vehicles for their voices to reach you and to reach the world. I wanted to thank Obay Jouda for joining us, Rawan Matan, Shukran Ktir for joining us, Batul Al-Khaldi, thank you very much for joining us, and Jude Sabia, thank you very much for joining us. It's an honor to have you here with us. Please, let's give the students an applause. I also wanted to thank you from the deep of our heart, Miss Mona Khadazer, who we see here, Khazandar, apologies for the mistake, Mona.
Okay, no problem.
Mona has been a wonderful present for us. She's in constant contact with Zahid, they're really best friends. And she has been an incredible, another vehicle for us to contact the students and to get in touch with them. So Mona, thank you so much. Without you, we wouldn't be here and the book would not be come alive. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me give you a little bit of a sense of where we are going with the event. So the first thing that we are doing, we are having Zahid that is going to speak, and I'm going to introduce him, that we are going to watch some student videos, and then I'm going to introduce Jacob, and we're going to hear from him. And then we're going to hear from the students at the end. So thank you very much, dear lovely students from Gaza, for being so patient and staying with us. And we hope you find actually this interesting as well. So without further ado, let me introduce you, Zahid. Yes, we're going to take pictures of you. And of the students. Okay. Professor Zahid Pranjal is a professor in biomedical sciences. He's also the Associate Dean of Education and Student, Faculty of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. Thank you very much for joining us, Zahid.
Thank you. Also,
And
yeah, it's fine. I can see what's okay. So, this has been a very emotional journey. So I'll do my best to not become emotional. Yeah, I hope you can hear me, guys, in Gaza. Yeah, it's been a very emotional journey for me because I've been involved with these lots of students in Gaza since April 2024. So that's where I'll give you a background of what we've done and then how we then came to the book. So this is the outline, which has already been covered by Zahira, but Khulud has done the fantastic reading of one of the pieces by Lina Khattab, White Banner, and she couldn't be here with us today because simply because the connection's not great. And yeah. Then I'll talk about the project a little bit, and then Jacob will come later on, and then the students will join from Gaza. They're already there, so they'll just come to talk about it. So that's the project. We're still here. The name was chosen by the students themselves, actually, and the whole thing was written by them. I just collected with Jacob and just turned it into a book. So very minimum task on our side. But let me give you some context on why it's important that we do this. And we did this, and we continue to do this. Majority of the universities in Gaza were destroyed, absolutely destroyed to the ground. Back in April 24, we were hoping, well, they were thinking there might be a ceasefire soon. Not April, I think it was probably February, January time last year, 24. And that didn't happen. And the Ministry of Higher Education in Palestine, they decided to move on to sort of online teaching because they had to continue their education. Why? Because education is so important for Palestinian students, for Palestinian people in general. And so I'm not Palestinian, right? But I guess most of you are not Palestinians either, but we are all here for the same reason. We understand the cause and the limitations and the challenges and things we need to do. So what happened at that point is that I was contacted by an academic from Gaza, and they said, you know, we would like to start educating online. Can you help us? And they reached out to a wide range of academics in the world, in the UK, Australia, Canada, even in the Middle East. And I responded and said, yes, we'll do anything, without knowing any of the IP stuff, you know, intellectual property and copyright issues. I promised them something, so I have to deliver it now, right? So I've asked them, hey, can you send us, you know, the curriculum that you need covered by us? And the medical school responded, Al-Azhar University. They sent me a list of things, and they said, can you cover this module? We lost the lecturer. We don't know where he is. Maybe dead, displaced. I don't. No one knows. So we stepped in. We gave. When I say we, that's myself and David Wood. I would like to name these people. They're great. Lecturer in immunology, and we delivered some live sessions, but also we did recorded materials. We gave them those materials, and they loved our lectures. And I kept hearing that how good they were. I was really worried that the English might be a thing, and I told David to speak slowly next time. But they told us, no, it's fine, it's great. So then they asked us for more materials from the medical school, and we gave them more and more, and it just expanded. And I realized actually I should get the copyright thing sorted from Sussex. And the good thing is we didn't give them anything that would require copyright. It was, you know, there was no Sussex logo. It was just, you know, just slides and some materials. But Sussex did give us copyright license to cover all teaching. So that covers all the copyright issues and IP issues and all that. And NHS has been fantastic. The doctors and clinicians, they stepped in, they gave us lots of materials too. So that picture is where they used to, you know, the students used to gather and you know, share their intellectual ideas and all those things. And now it's gone. So you had to create something for them. Actually, Palestinians are quite good at it themselves. They actually did the whole thing. We just chipped in a little bit here and there. But 90,000 students at that time lost access to education. That means access to all education, right? So the buildings were bombed, the clouds were bombed, so they lost a lot of materials. And so online education was absolutely key at that point. So I want to tell you what we've done. I've talked about April, May 24 till now, giving education materials online, some of the live sessions, some materials that's pre-recorded. Some of the subjects we've covered from Sussex, medicine, applied sciences, so biochemistry, immunology, data science as well. We've given them some books and online resources. I've also contacted two big companies, LearnSite and Labster. They provide virtual labs to, you know, during the pandemic, that's when they had these materials developed. And they said, yeah, we'll give all our materials to Gaza. It's no brainer. And then they gave like maybe £2 million worth of materials to them, access to those materials to Gazans. But the internet connection isn't great, so they suffered a little bit, but they used quite a bit of it, I believe. We've also mentored, I think Jacob mentored some PhD students. I think Abir, you mentored Abir online. We've also joined up with lots of healthcare professionals, so psychotherapists in the UK, both English speaking, Arabic speaking professionals, and they started doing therapies online. So currently we have about 50 students receiving psychotherapy, trauma therapy online from Gaza, and English and Arabic mixed. So I talked about these a little bit in different conferences, which I was trying to stay quiet, but then I realized actually every time I go to a conference about Gaza, they all talk about the same thing. What can we do? What can we do? And it's been months. So I went to a conference in Glasgow in December, and I told them what we do. And we had this flurry of people come around me and said, how do you send the materials? And my answer was Google Drive. Just send it to them. You know, it's not rocket science. You don't have to create program in new software or something. It's as simple as that. And then Oxford came in. They were quite keen. I kind of helped them set up some of the stuff they do. From Sussex, we've also given scholarship opportunities. So we had 2 scholarships. So Khulud is one of them who received that scholarship, and she arrived from Gaza a couple of weeks ago. And Fatin is another one. Hopefully she's coming. And we've also, last week, we've got 5 more scholarships for Gazans to come and study at Sussex. It has been approved, has been shown publicly, so I can talk about it now. But one thing I want to also say at the end is this, there are lots and lots of initiatives in and around the UK, and a lot of them remained inactive. It was almost like a tick box exercise for a lot of people to create a fancy website and not actually be functionalized, if you know what I mean. So we had to be operational and functional, but with less noise. And then back in June time, I think, we did this session where somebody contacted me, Nikki. I'm sure she's online, she can hear me now. And she said, why don't we teach them English? This is something we can do. And then that exploded. We had 1,000 students signed up from UG, so Islamic University of Gaza, and Al-Azhar University, to learn conversational English. We did it on Zoom and WhatsApp. That's the easiest way of communicating with pretty much everywhere in the world. And we've covered sort of students from different subjects: engineering, English, law, business, medicine. So Mona Khozunda, who's here, she was one of the first people who set this up with me for the English students in Al-Azhar. And he received almost 70+ teachers, they're all qualified teachers, to volunteer to teach English language, conversational English language, to Gazans. We've got Hannah, she's also a teacher, she's here today. And we've got other people, I'm sure, in the room. Jake teaches too. Come on, don't be so humble. And it's, you know, we saw an impact. We saw something that I was never expecting. It was that these lessons became a lifeline for these guys. And when I say a lifeline, we started giving therapy in bulk. 50% teaching, 50% interactions with the external world, with our teachers. It gave them hope, actually. Hey, we are still having this conversations of, you know, the things we can do. So the lessons were designed in a way that the students were talking about something that they're specialized in and they're interested in. It wasn't just plain simple, hey, you know, this is a picture of a dog, can you describe it? It was more like, so you want to do engineering, or you're studying mechanical, what does that mean, mechanical engineering? Can you tell me in English? And we use voice notes and text messages, and they engaged with us a lot. And then came the book. There was one day when I was in Aldi shopping. I don't shop in big fancy places. I was just shopping in Aldi, and I had a message from one of the students that said, Dr. Zahid, they always call me Dr. Zahid, you know, that's never Zahid. I'm about to be displaced, and I'm going to send you some words. Do you mind sending it to the world? I was like, wait, what do you mean you be displaced and sending it to the world? Come back and write the rest to me. And he sent me a piece in Arabic, and I was like, I don't have time to translate. But I came home and I translated it, and it was so powerful. And I lost connection with him for like 3 days. And I was really worried that something happened. Translated it, then I went to Jake and I said, hey, I think we can do something. We've got these guys, they're fantastic writers. Can you come up with a book, an idea for a book? So I proposed this idea to Mona Kozunda and said, hey, I need some you to create a group and see if people are interested in sending me their writings. And there it was. We received 100+ pieces, short reflections and poems about their experience during the genocide. They're writing it live, majority of them. We, in Arabic and in English, because I can't read Arabic. I mean, I can read Arabic, but I don't understand what it says. So I had to have both. I mean, he reads Arabic, so it's great. We shared the materials. We got people to edit a little bit here and there. And we got a book. Now, the unique thing about this book is that it's the writing, the pieces are raw and unedited. We weren't expecting them to be professional writers and published authors. We wanted the words as they appear, their expressions, their worries and fears. And I think we were able to capture that in their writing. Often they wrote it on their phones, in a WhatsApp message to me. They wrote it sometimes on a piece of paper, took a picture, and I said, I can't accept pictures. You have to type it up. I gave them some work during a terrible time, but you know what? It kept them going, kept them engaged. So yeah, famine, conflict. I mean, I said conflict. It's a genocide, and it's a famine. It's a forced starvation, man-made starvation, and there is man-made constant displacement. This is Hiba Hussein. She went back to a place where I think she used to study there before. She took a picture of herself, and this is actually real pictures. The people are studying in these rubbles. They are still doing their exams. I had a student who sent me a picture saying, hey, I'm about to start my exam. This is where I'm sitting down. There's nothing around me. It's quite hot. I'm gonna find some trees, but I'll do my exams on my phone or on their laptops. It's an incredible story. I mean, yeah. And the book was endorsed by, as you can see, Ian McEwan, Ilan Pape, Leila Sansu, who's Sheikh's friend. I know Ilan from Exeter when I was there before, but anyway, the book has been instrumental in our understanding, giving us a sort of a real life picture of what's going on the ground. And words are always more powerful to me, especially to writing such pieces. So if you want to read the book or get a book online, that's a QR code, but you can also grab them here as well. I'm trying to promote it at the same time because the money goes to Gaza, to our students. So we can talk about the prices. I mean, we've got a salesman sitting there. There you go. So I'm going to play this short video of Reem reading out her poem, which is in the book. This is in a tent where she displaced recently, very recently. And I hope the volume is up.
And my one as our freedom. It couldn't be for more than a moment stand. See nothing but darkness, hear nothing but golden sounds. Filled with fears, waiting for the moment you faint, or the delusion you made yourself believe. Holding each other, shaking hands, praying that the last moment will be easier than the rest. Running, powerless, waiting for a crime to be committed and a miracle to be made. Everything is done and nothing has changed. Either you die or end up living as dead. Either you starve to death or live starving in a moment away from death. Our freedom was born from caption. Our freedom was made from blood and tears. Our freedom formed from painful past. No one believes our freedom made of decades of struggling to be free.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Reem.
So this is Abdullah Al-Holi. He sent me a couple of videos.
He's great.
He's great. He didn't like the first one. He said, oh, I don't think you can hear me very well. So he sent me another one. So here it is.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most compassionate, from the heart of prayer, from beneath the rubble and one, this is me, Abdullah Al-Holi. From the greatest place in this world, which is Gaza, Israel, a land exhausted by destruction and burdened by siege. Here, I would like to tell you a little bit about my wife in the book named We Are Still Here. Since my childhood, I looked up to my father, deep bright eye, who was a police officer, walking with confidence. I dream of being just like him, and I used to tell everyone when I grow up, I'll be like my father. But in Gaza Strip, nothing is guaranteed, or a dream completes its way with safety, because Israeli provincial forces will destroy your dreams and whatever you want in the country. In the morning on the 19th May, 2024, Israeli planes launched 2 drones, targeting my father without warning. At this tragic moment, I felt like my soul was slipping away because I lost my uncle that had given me in this spot. Today, I no longer hope to become police officer. All that I want just is to speak loudly, to show our tragedy in Gaza Strip and what's going on in my homeland. Lastly, we sincerely thank everyone who contributed and extended a helping hand to share our voices in this genocidal war from Gaza Strip.
So that's me done. Zahir, you're right.
Thank you so much, Zahid, and thank you, Zahid. Zahid is a doer. I cannot explain to you what this means. I cannot explain to you at what level he does this. I don't know how you do it, really. I mean, he just does things. He just does things one after the other. And he shows us up for like our insecurity and our uncertainty. He just does things. And this is very interesting when you went to those conferences and people said, how do you do it? And you said, I just do it. So that's, you know, I'm learning every day from both Zahid and also Jay. But let me introduce you, Dr. Jacob Norris. He's a assistant professor in Middle East history and Faculty of Media Arts and Humanities. And of course, he played a vital role on this book. We look forward to hearing about history. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zahira. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Massive welcome to all of our students in Gaza in particular. Right, so this is the really, I get to do the really boring history bit. Zahid, he wheels me out as the historian. I'm going to keep it brief. I just want to say a few words about, I suppose, Gaza's centrality to Palestine and to the Palestinian liberation movement. And then we'll get on to the more important part, which is hearing from our students who are joining us live from Gaza. I've never been to Gaza myself. I've spent a lot of time in the West Bank and in 48 Palestine, but Gaza, as we know, for many, many years has been largely off limits to outside visitors. But what I get as a historian who works a lot on Palestinian history, I work mainly on the 19th and 20th century, I get a very strong sense of Gaza as this incredibly dynamic place, which has actually been central to the evolution, to the development of the Palestinian resistance and the Palestinian liberation struggle. This is Gaza in the late Ottoman period. And I think what's crucial to understand Gaza historically is its sense of being this very important strategic position as a port city on the Eastern Mediterranean, long history as a trading hub that connects North Africa to West Asia, to the Red Sea, to the Arabian Peninsula. It's long been an important stopover on the spice trade route that traversed the Red Sea. So here we are at the end of the Ottoman period. Zahid's going to be, you impressed with my technology, Zahid? I can do zoom in and zoom out.
Oh, wow, I didn't know.
But actually, it's not going to work. So down here, this is Gaza down here, and you can see it sits, this is in the late Ottoman period, very beginning of the 20th century. It sits at this crossroads of roads that lead up northwards from Egypt and then go southeast towards Bir Sabah, as well as northwards. So it sort of sits at this very strategic point on the Mediterranean coast. And it's precisely because of that Gaza becomes a massive focal point of British colonial ambitions during the First World War. And as the British and Britain's colonial forces are fighting against attacking the Ottomans during World War I, Gaza becomes this key front line of the war, and the Ottomans hold this defensive line from Gaza to Bir Sara. There are three major battles in Gaza during the First World War. Britain and its allies lose the first two of those battles, and eventually in October 1917 defeat the Ottomans, and that represents this breakthrough moment in the war as that allows them to push northwards from their colonial base in Egypt up to conquer the rest of Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. And you can see from this map on the left the extent to which Gaza, in terms of British railway building, which they build railways connecting Egypt up to the rest of Palestine and northwards. Again, this sense of Gaza's strategic importance. This is the official sort of surrender of Gaza, the city of Gaza, to the British, the official ceremony marking that in early 1918. And this is a map taken from the Palestine Open Maps project, which reproduces all sorts of different maps. These are the British colonial maps from the 1940s, and this is a zoom in on Gaza city here, and you can see again its sense of being a crossroads. The railway line, which is just here, is running through the centre of Gaza, the railway line that the British built. You'll also notice that Gaza historically has actually been set back from the sea. Gaza has been inland by sort of 5 or 6 miles historically, the main ancient city of Gaza. And at various points they've built ports, but Gaza's actually been slightly inland, surrounded by these agricultural lands. Places like Deir el-Balah, further south, Khan Yunis, are off the map here. They've been historically separate towns. But this kind of territory that we know today as the Gaza Strip, Qatar Gaza, was very much produced by the Nakba, the ongoing Nakba, which begins proper in 1948. And this process really starts when the British relinquished their mandate for Palestine in 1947, and the United Nations comes up with this idea to partition Palestine into separate Arab and Jewish states, universally opposed by Palestinians and the surrounding Arab states. But you'll notice that the initial territory earmarked as part of these orange-coloured Palestinian territories by the UN envisaged a much larger area around Gaza as part of the future Arab Palestinian state. And as the war of 1948-49 plays out, Israel conquers a far larger, the new emergent state of Israel conquers a far larger area of territory. And this is where this idea of Qatar Gaza, the Gaza Strip, is really produced, right? It's in both territorial and demographic terms, and we live with this up to the current day. So the armistice of 1949 establishes the Gaza Strip within its current borders, and as we've said, this is a significantly smaller stretch of land than that designated by the UN in 47. It comes under Egyptian administration after 48-49. Nowhere in Palestine receives more refugees per head in this period than Gaza. So prior to the Nakba, it's home to around this strip of land, it's home to around 80,000 residents. By the end of the 1940s, it had absorbed more than 200,000 refugees, which triples the area's population. And that involves the establishment of 8 refugee camps, which still exist in one form or another, although massively destroyed by Israeli bombardment during the recent genocide. And as I'm sure many of you know, that today over two-thirds of the population of the Gaza Strip are descendants from those first waves of refugees during 1948-49. What I want to really focus on is the extent to which, after that point, something very interesting happens in Gaza. Part of the kind of broader explanation for this is the fact that other areas of Palestine, so the West Bank has been annexed by Jordan, which tolerates very little expression of Palestinian sort of sovereignty or independence. Those parts of Palestine now falling under the state of Israel. Obviously, expressions of Palestinian identity are very much repressed there. In Gaza, a relative amount of political freedom is allowed by the Egyptian administration, especially after 1956 and the Free Officers' Revolution, sorry, 1952, the Free Officers' Revolution, which brings Gamal Abdel Nasser to power, who is relatively supportive of Palestinian national ambitions. So you find, partly because of this big influx of refugees, partly because of this relatively open political atmosphere afforded by the Egyptians, Gaza becomes the centre of this new phase of Palestinian resistance and the Palestinian national movement. Loads of examples I could mention. The very first Fedayeen raids, so kind of guerrilla fighters in the early 1950s, come from Gaza, and they carry out raids on Israeli military bases stationed around the Gaza Strip. And this grows into groups, the emergence of groups like Al-Fatah, which is becomes the major sort of the leading Palestinian national group. And Fatah emerges really from a group of refugees who come to Gaza after 1948. The likes of Khalil al-Wazir, Salah Khalaf are two of the kind of major figures in the founding of Fatah. Fatah officially is founded in 1959, but it's those earlier encounters that occur amongst people refugeed from places like Jaffa, from Ramla. Yasser Arafat spends time in Gaza during this period, meeting with these figures, and Fatah as a group really emerges from those encounters. A little bit later in 1964, the PLO is formed, initially under sort of Egyptian auspices, but you find that all the early leadership of the PLO are from Gaza or refugees in Gaza and are based in Gaza. People like Ibrahim Abu Sitta. This woman pictured here in the top right, Yusra al-Barbari, who is the first woman from Gaza City to receive a university degree from what's now Cairo University in the late 1940s. The General Union of Palestinian Women, which Yusra is a big part of, is founded in Gaza in 1964-65. So all sorts of sort of new expressions of a more strident Palestinian resistance after 48 become centered in Gaza. I think this is really interesting. A lot of the research that I've been doing in recent years has been focused on revolutionary connections between Latin America and Palestine. And one of the things I've studied is the 1966 conference that takes place in Cuba, in Havana, the Tricontinental Conference, which brings together third world revolutionaries from all across Asia, Africa, Latin America. And there's a Palestinian delegation there in 1966 in Havana, and it's led, this sort of nascent PLO organization, and it's led by, well, all of the delegation. In fact, there's 6 or 7 of them there in Havana, and they all come, I started looking them up, well, who are these people, where are they from? They all come from Gaza. So I was very struck by the sense of Gaza being the kind of the engine room of the Palestinian resistance at that time. And just to give you a very quick, some of you maybe already well-known kind of anecdote connected to that. 1959, just after the Cuban Revolution, Cuban delegation arrives in Gaza, being given a kind of a tour of Gaza by the Egyptian government. And among them is this guy just right of center, you may well recognize, Che Guevara, as it says in the Arabic underneath Ma'a Guevara, Batal Thawrat Cuba, so Che Guevara, the hero of the Cuban Revolution, 18th of June, 1959. And the Egyptians that day, they take him and his team from Cuba on a tour of the Gaza Strip. And I think it's no coincidence that that's occurring, that first encounter between the Cuban Revolutionary Government and the Palestinians is occurring in Gaza. They visit 2 refugee camps, one at Ashati and the other one at Al-Bureij. And the Egyptian officials explained to the Cuban delegation that the majority of Gaza's population are refugees expelled from 247 villages and towns in southern Palestine, and now, of course, forbidden by the State of Israel from returning to their homes. And there's this fascinating eyewitness accounts, both on the Palestinian side and the Cuban side, not Guevara himself, but his companions from that trip. When they get to Al-Bureij camp, Guevara, he enters into a conversation with one of the camp leaders, Mustafa Abu Midan, who tells him how these small groups of young men are carrying out sporadic raids on Israeli military bases, the very first Fedayeen. And he explains to Guevara how these have often resulted in devastating Israeli reprisals. And this may ring some bells in the contemporary context. Most notoriously on the night of 28th of August, 1953, an Israeli army unit led by the notorious General Ariel Sharon attacks the camp, throwing bombs through the windows of the huts, killing 43 people as they slept in their beds. And there's this fascinating moment in the description of one of Guevara's companions where you're expecting Guevara to sort of be very sympathetic, offer his condolences, and instead he says, "You should show me what you are doing to liberate your country. Where are the training camps? Where are the factories to manufacture arms? Where are the people's mobilization centers?" And I think what we're witnessing there is the very kind of beginnings on the Palestinians on the cusp of this new phase of a much more independent and strident form of resistance. And Guevara, I'm not saying that Guevara was somehow responsible for this, but he's kind of encountering Palestine and Gaza in particular at this moment. It's no coincidence that it is in Gaza and not elsewhere in Palestine that these first meetings and encounters take place. I just want to very quickly say a few words about how this sense of being so central to Palestine and the Palestinian national cause has translated historically and up to the present day in very dynamic educational institutions and educational culture. You can actually trace this back centuries, if not millennia. Gaza has a very interesting history of learning, of educational centers. Just to think about this in the kind of in the modern day context. So between 48 and 67, that period of Egyptian administration over Gaza, there were no accredited universities in Palestine. And that's because under the mandate, they were not allowed to be set up or flourished. But during this 48 to 67 period, if you're in Gaza, you go to university in Egypt, and there was a sense of connectedness and mobility there. People like Yusra al-Barbari, who I mentioned, who graduated from Cairo University. If you're in the West Bank, you tend to go to universities in Jordan. Jordan has annexed the West Bank by this stage. So what happens when Israel conquers this entire territory of historic Palestine in 1967 and begins its occupation of the Gaza Strip, is that those connections to higher education are severed. We know all about Israel's curtailing of freedom of movement and of education. So you have quite quickly the development of new educational. Palestinians realize they have to sort of turn inwards and create their own educational institutions, particularly in higher education. And over the ensuing decades, up to the present day, 12 universities are established in the Gaza Strip alone. As we know, all 12 of these have either been completely or partially destroyed by the Israeli bombardment over the last 2 years. A couple of examples of these higher education institutions. So all of the students who wrote this book come from either the Islamic University or Al-Azhar University. Most of them actually come from Al-Azhar. That's right, yeah, Zahid. Islamic University is the first, on the left here, is the first higher education, the first university in the Gaza Strip. Established in 1978, it's an independent or private university. Its list of alumni is a kind of who's who of all the great figures of Palestinian. I mean, Rafat al-Arir, who many of you know, the poet who was assassinated by Israel. Ismail Haniyeh, likewise assassinated by Israel. Wael al-Dahdour, who's the journalist, head of Al Jazeera in Gaza, is also an alumnus from Islamic University. The list goes on. On the 10th of October, so very soon into the genocide, 2023, Israel bombed and destroyed the university campus. In December that year, so 2 months later, Professor Soufiane Taye, who was the university's president, a very prominent scientist, is killed along with his family in an Israeli airstrike on the nearby Jabalia refugee camp where he lived. Al-Azhar University, this page is actually from the book itself, sort of these shocking before and after photographs. This is where most of us, hi, welcome, please come in. This is where most of our, hi. This is where most of our student authors in the book are based in terms of their university. Al-Azhar is a really interesting place. The first public university in Gaza, opened in 1991 by Yasser Arafat, and very much designed as kind of Palestine's national university. That's the idea behind it. Again, a long list of really, really prominent alumni. One example would be Hiba Abu Nada, she's a very famous, well-known poet. Again, killed in her home by an Israeli airstrike in October 2023. Some of her poetry has been collected in an English translation called Oxygen is Not for the Dead. I'd really recommend that. We have a copy here in the library. In the university itself, in November 2023, the university's facilities were destroyed by Israeli airstrikes. The IDF performed additional demolitions in December. Interestingly, due to the severity of these attacks, by the Israeli military, South Africa uses this university as one of its kind of evidence or case studies when submitting its case for genocide to the ICJ. I just want to finally finish by just saying, when Zahid we started talking and brought me into this project, we were very quickly put in touch with the students themselves through WhatsApp chats, through direct communications, and started to read through their poetry and speak to them often one-to-one as well. And I've just been blown away by this unquenchable thirst for learning, their incredible creativity, and a desire, despite these unbearable hardships that they've been through, to get their message out to the world. And it's been just a truly inspirational experience for me to work with these students. And I'm really humbled to be part of this project. So thank you very much.
Rahid, do you want me to do
Yes, that's it. That makes sense. We'll go back to the Zoom. All right, so can you hear me now still, yeah? You're still with me? Obey?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are some of our students and authors. I mean, Mona was on there, she's not, she's an academic there who is fantastic personality in Gaza. We have Obey, Jude. So there's two Obeys. I think the other one is Rawan, right? Yeah, so you have to change it. Okay, it's okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have Batul, and that's it. So you have 4 students from Gaza. They're in Gaza right now. They've joined us to read their writing in English. Okay, so who wants to go first? Obed, do you want to go first?
to say whatever they want, right?
So, yeah, you can. Yes,
You know,
introduce
and to
yourself.
ask questions. And
Yes,
to
yes.
give us any, it would
Go
be
on.
it's such a privilege to have you here. That for us, whatever you feel like doing, reading your piece, of course, but also ask us questions, or we I'm sure that someone here might have question to ask you. We hold you in our hearts always. We hold Gaza in our heart always. So this is such an opportunity of contact and of exchange. So whatever is going to happen, let's leave it a little bit, spontaneous.
But they did prepare for it to read that. Let's. So the floor is yours. The floor is yours, Obey. Just unmute yourself and start introducing yourself and just read your writing and tell us where you are now. Not too much detail, not the specific locations, but yeah, good.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Obey Judi. I'm 20 years old. I study English translator at Gaza University. And Dr. Zahid and Job and Dr. Muna she's a doctor in my university, and Jacopo and Dr. Zahid is a grateful board and solidarity. I think Fiona is here. Hi, Fiona. Today I wanted to read my story in our book, Unfinished Song. The night felt like any other Israeli desert at 10 p.m. in my grandparents' house, seeking a false sense of safety amidst the chaos consuming our land. My mother was making a tea, while my father and uncle tried to distract themselves with a game of cards, seeking a false sense of safety. In background, Kulthum's float through the air. Now I have a rifle. To Palestine, they've taken me with you. The voice shattered. A bomb struck our neighbor's house. My father and uncle rushed out to see what had happened, but we all knew their home had become a tomb. Years and years, I found myself revisiting that moment. I replayed it again. It began with the bombing, just like my life. I waited for the blast, but it didn't come. The next line said, 20 years search for a home and identity. Now I'm 20 and still searching. When will the song end? Thank you.
Thanks, Obey. I have to say that Obey is when he started his English lessons, he wasn't very confident. And then after a few weeks, he was speaking English like he's a native speaker. I mean, he did a video for us. We are still here, and then it was great. And he was taught by Fiona. So Fiona was one of the people
Yeah.
that started the English course with me and Nikki. Fiona is a local comrade. She's an activist for Palestinian causes, and she and Nikki set up a lot of the coordinations and the groups, and Obey is an example of a success story that, you know, he literally within a couple of weeks he was speaking English. Like, I was so surprised. I thought he was using ChatGPT, then actually I found out he wasn't using ChatGPT. It was great, Obey. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next
Thank you.
Rawan, do you want to come next? You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah. Yes, can I speak?
Yes, go for it. Just introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us whatever
Yeah.
you tell us, and also read your writing too.
Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rawan Matar. I live in Gaza right now, as you can see, and I'm a student at Al-Azhar University, majoring in English translation. And I'm so glad to be here today with you guys. And I'm so grateful to my doctors, Dr. Zahid and Dr. Jacob, and my lovely doctors, Muna Al-Khuzandar, here in Gaza.
Thank you very much.
First, Mrs. Dahlia, I will not forget her. And we wrote a book filled of emotions of sorrow and grief, heartfelt stories, and first-hand testimonies attempt to survive, written by university students, by us, who turned to pen in paper when no one would listen. We sought to express our feelings and document the difficult moments, compiling them into a book titled We Are Still Here, a poem written by me, the voice of Gaza. In Gaza lived a little boy, dreaming of joy and a great peace. He loves a place and sun so free, beneath the sun, near the sea. But darkness came without a sign, and stole his pride in hopeful time. No school, no songs, no games to play, just fear and pain felt each day. His home destroyed, his heart now torn. No more laughter like times before. The world stays silent, yet he cries as bombs still fall from burning skies. This is no tale for alone, but children's grave deep to the bone. So hear his voice, a pleading call for hope to rise and peace for all. Thank you.
Great job. So one thing I have to say is the book We Are Still Here, when we collected all the writings, we didn't know what to call it. So he called out to everybody, what do you think you should call it? And then lots of names came in, and there was a simple name that came, We Are Still Here. And then that came from Mahmoud Darwish's poem, and there was a sentence that We Are Still Here. And I think that's where it comes from, because I mean these guys know it very well. Okay, so the next one. Thanks, Rowan. Next is Batul. Hiba, I'll come back to you later.
Hi, everyone.
Go for it, Batul. We can hear you. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you are, who you are, how you got involved with this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, read your piece. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm Batul Khaldi. I'm 21. I study at Al-Azhar University, majoring in English literature, and I'm gonna read my story. The title of my story is Our Feelings When the War Resumed on March 18, 2025. The night the war returned was a night of tragedy. Missiles once again rained down on the heads of innocent people, and the sounds, those terrifying inhuman sounds, cannot even be described. Still, I told myself this won't last long. There's an agreement witnessed by powerful nations. Surely Israel won't be able to keep fighting. But the truth hit harder than any muscle. No one moved for us. No one acted. And the fighting came back faster than before. We hadn't even caught our breath from the last war. We had just started to dream again. to plan for a future we hoped would be more beautiful. But the return of the bombs shattered those dreams into pieces. I don't understand how the whole world remains silent, lips sealed shut. Why? We are not asking for luxury. We are not searching for perfect lives. We just want something simple. To wake up to the sounds of birds instead of warplanes. To eat a meal without wondering if it will be our last. We are children of war. Every day we live with memories soaked in pain. And yet, despite everything, we still dare to dream. Dreams, not nightmares. Sometimes I wonder, will the days always be like this? Is misery our fate written into our lives until death? But then I remind myself, this world is not the end. Every story has a sequel, and there is always hope because there is a God who sees this world. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, Batul. I had to go around and make sure you take pictures, because if you have one nice picture of one and not the other one, I'll be in trouble. Right. Thanks very much. The next is one is Jude.
Hello everyone, my name is Jude Sabra and I'm studying business administration at Al-Azhar University, and I'm truly honored to be part of something this meaningful and powerful. Thank you all for this chance. I'm going to read my poem, 1 Year of Genocide. I wrote it on 7th October 2024. 1 year of genocide. A sun used to shine, loved her golden yellow, her warmth. My life, it was beaming. Even in the darkest days, she gave me warmth, sent it down to me in gentle rays, a shimmer of hope, reassuring me life is coming again. As the sun usually does, she sets for a time and returns brighter, with her same passion, same kindness, with a smile that fades beneath its flash. My sun reminds me of a smile in a miserable situation, like a bandage on a wound. She continues her path. In a world known for opposites, day and night, up and down, my life was radiant. Total eclipse. My sun absent, a year almost of cold days. My sun is not here as I bleed without a bandage and a smile absent. I know in the depths of my heart, tomorrow the sun will rise and I so much love them all. Thank you all for hearing us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jude.
So can I ask all the students, are you guys in Gaza, central Gaza, in your homes, in tents? What's your situation now? Because I think it's important that we know that you're reading out from what circumstances you're in. Jude, where are you now?
Actually, I'm in a tent in Bir al-Balah now. I'm still evacuated. I didn't return to my home yet. My home is not here anymore.
Okay, thank you. So she's in a tent in a place called Deir al-Balah in Gaza. I think you're from Deir al-Balah, right, Khulud? Yeah. And you too, Maya. There you go. So they are our students from Gaza. They just arrived, and Ali at the back the last few weeks. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. I'm gonna go back to the slides, I think.
You want to ask the other ones too?
Yes, I will in just in a second. I want to make sure that we're covering everything. Okay, so there are questions. Are there questions? Just to make sure that Hiba Hussein, she had her hand up earlier. She has. Okay, go for it. And I'll also play some videos as well. I have to do that because it's only fair. Okay, thanks, James. This is a Google Drive. So I want to just quickly introduce you to a couple of students. This Mariam and Hiba was saying, and Mariam Marwan. They're so engaged. They're so fantastic. Mariam is a published author in Gaza. And Hiba is, I think she's also published author in Gaza, right? She's got a fantastic Instagram page, lots of followers. Whenever she reposts our posts, which is on our Instagram page, it'll come a bit later. We get lots of likes, which is good because we get our, the words out. But before I, speak anymore, I would like to play just a couple of videos. I think we have to stop share and then reshare and reshare the whole screen. That's right, just the whole screen, right?
Yeah, share the whole thing.
Oh, cool. Okay, they can see this one now. Perfect. That one. Excellent. Thanks, James. Yeah. So I think what I will do is I will play. Hanan just messaged me and said, "Hey, can you please play my video?" Where is Hanan?
Keep you under control, huh?
They always do that. Which one? Where is Hanan? This is Hanan. There you go.
Hello. Just as a part of shapes my dreams, how come they feel apart from the past? I have been amazing to the shape of me. And I feel like bird without wings. I dream of flying, but I can't. I'm tied down by chance. I did choose.
There you have it, Hanan. I kept my words and I played your video. I was gonna play it anyway. There is Hiba. I have to play this one.
We are still here, even when dust eats the colors from our doors, and the wind blows like a warning across the broken roofs. We are still here, wrapping the keffiyeh around our throats like a small, desperate flag, planting a prayer between the cracks of the pavement, and whispering the crown. From stones we build sentences, from ash we shape a small alphabet and teach it how to sing. A child writes the word loud on a ruined wall, and suddenly the entire street begins to breathe. Our poems, they reach wordless, are tasteless, colorless, voiceless, and they don't carry the lamp from house to house. So we left the lamp. Even when our hands are trembling in lava, we are still here, with Gaza burning in the back of the road like an ancient prayer, with words rising from the rubble like stubborn flowers. We carve libraries out of shattered stone. I let the letters stand guard over the long night. We are still here, singing into the smoke, holding our grief into pepper grains, lifting the keffiyeh, a small constellation of resistance against the dark. We are still, we are here, and our words refuse to die. Written and spoken by Hiba Hussein. If you want to read more about my poems, the link of the bot is below or in the bio Poetry Aura.
So she's talking about her Instagram. That's her Instagram if you want to follow her. Okay. I think. Did he play one more or are you done? Mariam. Oh yeah, Mariam. Where's Mariam?
She's there.
Yeah, that's it. That's Mariam.
Welcome everyone. We are
No, I don't think that's the right. That's the right one. That's just to say we're still here. There was another one from her. I don't. Pretty sure it's just to say we're still here. So this is a video, and please take a picture of this.
Welcome everyone. We are so happy to have you with us today for the launch of our book. This book means a lot to us, and your presence make it even more special. Thank you for coming and supporting us.
Right. So I wanted to ask Miss Mona Kozondar to say a few words. Can you hear me, Miss Mona?
Yes, yeah. Can you?
Yes, I can totally hear you.
This is great.
Yes, please, please go ahead.
All right. Now, dear esteemed colleagues, students, and friends, it is with profound gratitude and deep emotion that I join you today for the launch of We Are Still Here, an anthology of resilience, grief, and unbreakable hope from Gaza's university students. During the genocidal war on Gaza, tens of thousands of innocent people were martyred, including many of our students and academic colleagues. Their homes and universities were either partially or completely destroyed, leaving countless individuals displaced or homeless. Amid these dire circumstances, our students felt an urgent need to convey their emotions and bear witness to the suffering they endured, facing illness, poverty, starving, and the absence of safety in these extraordinary, difficult times. On behalf of Al-Azhar University in Gaza, represented by our university president, Professor Dr. Omar Milad, and indeed on behalf of every student who has written, dreamed, and preserved through the unimaginable, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jacob Norris, historian of Palestine and co-director of the Middle East and North Africa Center at the University of Sussex, and to Professor Dr. Zahid Prinjol, Associate Dean of Education and Students for the Faculty of Science, Engineering, and Medicine for their extraordinary effort, compassion, and faith in our students' voices. You have not only compiled a book, you have preserved a testimony of truth and humanity in its purest form. We cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank you enough. The icon of humanity is manifested here today in its finest meaning through Professor Dr. Zahid. This is evident in his continuous generosity, compassion, and dedication, being almost always online, day and night, with our students. And he keeps saying, our students. Can you imagine? Our students. So he feels that they are his students. With our students tirelessly offering them both academic and psychological support and creating every possible opportunity for them in Gaza. Special thanks are also due to the University of Sussex and to the Raja Press. We owe our sincere appreciation for giving these voices a global platform, voices that have refused silence even amid devastation. My deepest gratitude goes to everyone who took part in bringing this profoundly sincere and powerful book to life. Also, special thanks are due to our students, the true authors of this moment. Your courage transcends words. In every poem, every line of grief and hope, you have transformed pain into power and loss into legacy. You are the living embodiment of Gaza's resilience, the beating heart of our nation's endurance and dignity. So special thanks are also due to everyone joining us from around the world. Thank you for listening, for caring, and for standing with Gaza's scholars and youth. Your presence reminds us that even in the darkest of times, solidarity can still light the way. Thank you to all who believed that the words of Gaza students matter. Thank you for helping them say, with courage and pride, we are still here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mona. That was very kind of you. It was more than I deserve. But...
You deserve all the best, Dr. Zahid.
Right. So we are kind of at now towards the end, but I wanted to share this slide with you. We are raising money for our students in Gaza, these authors, by selling the books, by selling those items, but also by raising funds on this page. So if you would like to donate directly, you could donate there. If you like to purchase merchandise, products like men's clothing, I don't know, Laura has done all this. These are all drawings and paintings by the students in Gaza. So these are not something we made up. These are all, you know, Nuran. This is Nuran's drawing. I think most of them are Nuran's drawing. What we are doing, we've put them on t-shirts and hoodies and things. You can order it, and not the authors, medical students that we taught. As you saw, Al Nasser Hospital was bombed.
Yeah.
And we lost one of the students from Al Azhar University, Mohammed Habib. And within another week, they bombed a building in the residential area without any notification. There was no notice, nothing. The whole building was bombed, and we lost another student. I forgot her name. But these two students, they used our materials to study medicine. So we kind of knew them, you know, we knew of them. And right next to the building, or maybe one building after that, Rula, she's one of our authors here. She was in that building, and she just messaged us to say, Said, they bombed the building next to us. They didn't tell us they were gonna bomb us. What should we do? So she just ran, but nothing happened. She's safe. They didn't touch her building. And you know, so it's like I'm constantly in touch with the real life things. I'm getting live updates on my phone constantly. And I think I feel very privileged because I really want to know what's happening. Yeah, so, but I have to thank people, actually. I'm not very good at thanking people. I tend to get to the point. Yeah, of course, I'm coming. I have to thank some people. I'm a scientist. I'm quite sort of abstract, and, you know, just quantitative. Not good. I need to be more qualitative.
You are so emotional, Dr. Zahid.
But that's just yeah, I guess that's the only thing. But I have to thank people like Jacob for being there with us. There'll be a second book coming. I've added you to the group. His job is to compile all that now, with Ilya. Ilya, and she's a Palestinian student, studied here in Gaza, Delobala. Oh yeah. And she's also taking part in compiling of the book. Zahira, for doing the whole thing with us all the time. She's fantastic. There's no idea.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. And James in this room. James, without this guy, nothing will happen. Yeah, so James sets up. He's under tremendous pressure from his work, but he always finds time to get the Zoom link ready and invite people and do all of these things. You know, it's awesome. But I also have to thank people offline or online, not offline, online, they're online. Fiona is I think I mentioned her name already. She has set up one of the English course that we do, the language programs, in one stream with Nikki Robertson. I know she's listening online because she just messaged me a few minutes ago. Nikki Robertson, again, another person to we're very thankful. And all the teachers who are teaching And, you know, it's like I said earlier, it's a lifeline for our students. So thanks to all the teachers. Thanks to the local community in Brighton and Hove. There are people who, you know, when I started working with Palestinian stuff, I didn't know many people. I'm not very social. I am social to an extent, but then I got to know so many local people who care so much about Gaza and Palestine. And yeah, so Hannah is here. Sorry, Hannah, I have to put you on the spot every time, but she's fantastic. She's very well connected, actually. So whenever I need something, hey Hannah, do you know this? Yeah, of course. Don't worry, I'll get back to you in 2 days. And then sorted. We have also the people, the Brighton and Hove PSC, Palestinian Solidarity Campaign group. Awesome people. All the Palestinian students who are here. So Ali, Maya, the brother and sister, they came to do a clinical placement. They left Gaza in April 25 this year, and they went to France because their father got a scholarship to do some researching in France. And then the father's friend got in touch with me, Saeed Abu Zur, again, a fantastic friend of mine in Manchester, Palestinian from Gaza, and said, hey, these 2 kids want to come to the UK. What can you do something for them? I'm like, I don't know. We never had this before, but actually the university supported their case, and we managed to bring them for 6 months for now. So at least they're here, which is great. And then Khulud, she just came 2 weeks ago. She's from Gaza. I went to pick her up from Heathrow, and it was I wasn't sure how to react at that time because, you know, 23 students came at the same time. Yeah, from Gaza and to the UK, of course. And when I saw her, I just didn't know what to say. You know, I let her speak, you know, and she seemed okay at first. I'm like, great, here's your sandwiches and things I've been carrying for hours. But I did warn her, we have cold sandwiches in the UK, which you might not like. In Palestine, in the Middle East, they don't really know when it's cold sandwiches. We toast it properly, so it's all yummy. But I don't know if you ate that sandwich in the end. Like, it was in your bag. And we are expecting more students to arrive from Gaza in the next couple of weeks. So whenever they're here, they will interact. They'll come to sessions like these. We have a book launch, just to finish this off. Book launch on the 1st of November in Brighton, Friends Meeting House. That's it. 2 to 4 p.m. That's it, 2 to 4 p.m. And yes, what's this? Yeah.
So just before we finish, so that circulate before
Yeah.
we finish. For the Palestine interdisciplinary dialogues, we are collecting a mailing list. We have events like this coming up next. So I'm going to circulate it, and if you want to put we are compiling a mailing list, and we are becoming more professional. Thanks to James. So there are other lists going around apparently. Yes. Okay, good. So if you can put your names in, that would be wonderful. And then at the end of it, we collect it. Thank you so much.
All right. So just to say, just the last one last thing. There are other book launches too in London. So one in King's Cross, Housemans, on the 3rd of November in the evening. If you're in London, please come. 7:30 to 9. Yeah. And one in Brick Lane Bookshop on the 18th of November. He'll be there. I'm not going to be there, but he's, yeah. Let's see. Okay, that's it from me. Q&A. So I would encourage everyone to ask questions. If you would like to talk, the Gazans are here. Feel free to ask them questions. Yeah. Okay, James, you got one question there. Oh, sorry.
Great.
Is there a microphone?
There's a mic. Yes.
There you go. That's no problem.
I mean, unless you want to sit and I chair, so you can answer the questions. Go and sit. Go and sit. Don't get your plate.
Oh, you don't spotlight.
But you are.
She's getting me out.
Okay, so yeah, questions, and I mean, I'm just here to hold the space, but really not to do much. Has anyone got questions for?
I've got the microphone.
Yeah, great. Go Zainab.
Thank you
Zainab
very
is my
much.
PhD student, by the way.
I'm really lucky to have Zahira.
I'm lucky to have you.
Thank you very much, everybody. I mean, this was the fantastic session. I mean, probably there's not enough words to express. I'm just speechless, and I wish that to our Palestinian students here, to everybody, like, thank you for this session. Like, I'm really, I have no words to how to explain my feelings currently, but I have a question for a recent Palestinian student. I think you both are, you are from France and you are from Gaza. I was just wanted to ask, how was your route like? Like, how did you arrive here? What was the route like? Yeah.
About how we get from Gaza,
Yeah.
how I can't say it was safe enough because like we went, they asked us to come 3 a.m. to a place. And I actually arrived before the ceasefire started or anything, so the bombing was still there. We went to a place there was like about 100 people evacuated to France as families. My father was one of them. So we went there. We then wait for a sign from Israelis to let us go. And when we get that sign, we start our journey. It was our first time seeing the rappel because these areas they are like red zones. We actually didn't see them. So until now, I still remember when we entered Rafah, there was no buildings. There was no building. It's all was rubble. We actually went through the Palestinian border, it is Israeli border. And from there, the France embassy was waiting for us. This journey from Deir al-Balah to Karm Salim should take less than 1 hour. But due to the rubble on the roads, due to the wait for the signs, how to move, when to stop, it took for me, it took 7 hours. For Khudud evacuation, it took about 13 hours waiting in these routes. And after that, it is much easier when we met the France embassy there and the people there. It was much easier. So from Karm Salim, we went directly to Jordan. And it was like 3 hours, the normal time it takes. And then we spent 1 day in Jordan to do the biometrics and visa issues. And after that, from Jordan to France. And this is about my journey. The most horrible thing was when you see your country is totally bombed. You don't have anything. It was the most the most heartbreaking thing is you don't know the places. You used to know them. When you are in the roads, like, I have been here before, but I don't know this place. Like, it's my first time seeing this place, but I have saw it before. It wasn't like that. I can't even know where am I. And this was the horrible thing, the most horrible thing during the journey. That's for me. I don't know if we'll have something else.
I want to add something about our journey. Our journey was very long because even with this long waiting hours, waiting for green lights on checkpoints. Before that, we are thinking about we are leaving our family behind and leave him in very difficult situation. We didn't know that if we are ever will see him again, or if we ever will contact with him again. it's very difficult situation to choose to leave your family behind and to go forward to complete your study because this is the right choice. For Palestinian people, we always choose our education as a first priority. And even with this difficult choice, our family always supported in this side. But even with this, it is very difficult choice. So yeah, it was a long journey from Gaza to here with all these difficult emotion, difficult situation, and every student maybe the situation different from student to another, but everyone will I don't know how to express this, but it's very difficult to choose this decision and to go out from Gaza. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If I may make a point as we get the next question, the story of Khulud and Batar is the story of Palestine. History repeats itself. So many Palestinians have gone out to study with the same question. My father was the same. It was the 1960s. He went to Italy to study, and then he got stuck out after 1967. So I am the embodiment. The life continues, whatever happens to Palestinians. But of course, we pray always for liberation. So thank you very much for your words. Thank you. Next question.
Thank you, guys. Actually, I really appreciate your noble efforts, guys, Jacob and Dr. Zahid and Zahira. What you are trying to do, I always feeling very grateful to your efforts, actually. And also, I have like a question for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, the students and maybe the university staff on the ground in Gaza. Have you ever received any support or any initiatives like these from like your neighbors' universities in Arabian countries? And also, you know, because I'm a teaching assistant in one of the Egyptian universities. What is your message for the universities, the Egyptian universities, if I can like transfer it? Thank you so much, and may Allah bless you.
Great. Obey, do you want to answer that one? You've been put forward by Zahid, by the way, not me.
Yeah. We wanted to say something. We wanted to read our story, read our poems, read as a history of Palestine to know we are right, you know, we are right. And all the countries, all the universities, all the world knew we are the right. But in this war, not fair, you know, we are in this world, the world is not fair. But we wanted to read, we wanted to say, you must know all of things in our culture in Palestine, because the Zionist and the Israeli occupation is try to destroy and bombing everything, hospital, universities, our culture. They wanted to seeking all of things. So we wanted to know something, just reading about Palestine, reading about history, reading about our book, reading history. Yeah.
So
we wanted to read our
Obey, just to repeat the question, if you want to give a message to the universities in the neighboring Arab countries, remind me your name? Because Hashim, who just asked the question, is from Egypt, is a teaching assistant in Egypt. So he's thinking, he's doing a PhD with us, as one of our PhD students here at the business school. And he's wondering what message can he give to the Egyptian university, to your neighboring universities?
Help us.
Do you want to send a message in Arabic to Hashim? Is Egyptian, he would understand you. Go ahead in Arabic, please.
اوكي. اللي بقدر اطلبه منهم يعني من الجامعات او من اغلب الجامعة المصريات او الجامعات كعين شمس او غيرها، انه عن جد احنا كشعب فلسطيني محتاجين شغلة واحدة، وهو انه احنا محتاجين حد يقف معنا. محتاجين عن جد الوقوف، مش اللي هي المساندة بالصوت أو بالكتابة. محتاجين عن جد كل شغلة لو بسيطة. محتاجين كل حاجة. إحنا حاليا في فلسطين وخاصة في غزة محتاجين كل حاجة، من تعليم، من صحة، من كوادر طبية، من كوادر تعليمية، من أي إشي موجود، أي إشي حدا بيقدر يقدمه. إحنا محتاجين كل حاجة في غزة. Thank you.
Shukran. Is that a good message, Hashim? Are you going to... And
Hashim, do you want to just translate what he said? I mean, obey.
Yeah.
It said that you want everything that can help them in Gaza, not just education, not just like supporting by talk. You want something in the ground. But again, I'm asking, like, especially to the universities, you know, and really I want to ask, listen from دكتورة منى. دكتورة منى، هي حضرتك في الجامعات، كنت حضرتك ستاف في الجامعة.
نعم.
نعم. يعني ماذا تريدين من الجامعات المصرية؟ ما هو الدعم الذي تريدونه الآن من الجامعات المصرية؟ أو وهل تلقيتم أي دعم من الجامعات المصرية؟
والله for the time being, I have no idea about I have no idea about any financial support, if you're talking about any financial support. But I'll tell you the truth, you know, the situation in Gaza now is so tragic. I mean, you know, in all spheres of life, Gaza needs reconstruction in many types of, you know, not at the level of education, at the level of, you know, I'll ask you something. How will our students now study in the universities if they are, you know, living in tents, if they are living in the streets, they have no blankets, and winter time is, you know, has started, and they have no appropriate shelter for them. So I have the same question. I will repeat the same question. What is it? What is it that can you help in? I'm not sure what possibilities or what or how you can help in this. You know, people need housing. People need, you know, schools and universities to get back to. We need everything. So just imagine that we need to start from the scratch, because everything is ruined, everything is destroyed, and this is a tragedy. I mean, people about yani, I cannot. I am a Gazan and I am full of home, and I do feel so bad for what happened, for what took place, and so simply you can look at each corner in Gaza and you will realize what it needs. We need concrete assistance in all levels, all spheres of life, and you just imagine and think of how the universities can help, regardless if they are Egyptian universities or any of the Arab universities or even European universities. So I am not pro, you know, that I'm not pro the brain drain. I mean, I don't want our students to leave Gaza, because if Gaza is emptied from our students, if Gaza is emptied from our scholars, then for whom will we leave Gaza? I am pro that our students stay in Gaza, our scholars stay in Gaza, our academics, our buildings are reconstructed, our health sector gets, repaired. Everything, every sphere of life needs to be repaired, because it was a genocide. It has been a genocidal war. And when I look at the photos, I feel I'm about to faint, to come into a coma because of the horrifying views. I cannot say anything more.
Thank you so much, Mona.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for your eloquence at such a dramatic moment.
Just one final comment, Dr. Mona. Actually, what you are doing right now, you are teaching the whole world by your patience and your steadfastness, your dignity. You are teaching us. You have something that we don't have, actually. Thank you, Jazakumullah.
Well, I think I always say that patience has been created for people of Gaza. And if anybody else has been put in the same place, I'm sure that he would feel the same, and he would suffer the same, and he would experience the same, and the reaction will be the same. So it's just something that Almighty Allah bestowed us with. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I just wanted to translate what Obay said, so try to do it word for word if that's possible, so that none of it is lost. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So he said, we need, what do we need? We need people to stand with us. So that's the first thing. And then he said, basically, we need everything, which means in any way you can help, you can help. And that's a very strong message, like don't belittle whatever way you think you can help Gaza, which means any way you can help, they will need help with it. If they will need, he said, we will need teachers, we will need medical help, we will need other things, which I forgot what it was. But point is, the message is clear. As don't belittle any way you can help. It's still, it's gonna make a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
translating.
you to hi Obay. And thank you to and thank you to people who, in Gaza for still talking to us, because you continuing to talking to us is your faith in us, which thank you for that.
Can you check some questions online before we hand over to you? If that's okay. So people are writing us. So they'll disappear.
Yeah. We have one question from Nikki Robertson. Can you do a book or podcast about students' real experiences? Okay. Can we expand the conversational English teaching program to more students?
Yeah, we are already doing that. You reached out to Alex University. We're gonna start teaching English to more students. They told me they have 4,500 students. So that's not gonna happen.
So Nikki Robertson, hope you're hearing that answer. And then could we produce a book podcast about students' real experiences of ceasefire in Gaza?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Ceasefire.
Yeah. Ceasefire. It's I mean, I don't think yes.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I have a question for the people living in Gaza. So I'm very wondering, like, how is the situation, like, especially for educational situation in Gaza. So how much like children can access to education in Gaza in this current situation? Like I maybe like imagine like people learning in tent like a temporary learning space, or children are getting like some psychological support assistance. So Yes, I heard like 90% of the school buildings are already destroyed. So I just wanna know some like current situation about education. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Rawan or Batul, do you want to answer this? The question was about education, what's remaining for the children, what initiatives are taking place, if anything. Do you want to say something? Rawan and Batul, if you're there. Or Obey if you're there, and if you're not, yes, Obey. Open,
Actually, the situation is horrible. From 2 years, the children didn't study, not like youth, not like me, not like anybody in huge, but the children's very hard to build A, B, C, like, or Alif, Ba, Jim in Arabic. That's hard, and the situation is hard. You know, the situation in universities, the situation in schools, the situations in house. There's many situations hard. So I think it's really horrible, and our situation in Gaza, especially in the student in KG1 and KG2, is hard, really hard.
Thank you, Obey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. أنا راح أشتري هذه الكتب. شكرا كثير.
Okay.
Thank you.
There is one question there.
Hello.
Can we hear you?
Hello. Thank you for the really great job that you are doing here, and really, it's really appreciated. I, as a Palestinian like student here in Sussex University, I heard a lot about what you are doing, and especially Dr. Zahid, like how he was supporting the students there. And this is really amazing work, and we are really thankful. As a Palestinian who used like to live in West Bank, and especially in a refugee camp called Aida refugee camp, we have this like complexity. It's like every day that we have to deal with it, the survival complexity. You know, as a Palestinian, like we used to share everything between each other, like to share our food, to share our houses, to share our knowledge. So even like this, we would like to share it together, you know, like, so we all the time we have to deal with this survival complexity. And I believe that the majority of Palestinians, they have the same issue everywhere, like in West Bank, in Jerusalem, in the lands which occupied in 1948.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just want to like to ask how it's impacting and affecting your daily life there, as like people whose survival of this genocide.
So the question is, if I understand correctly,
how this complexity, how they are dealing with this complexity as a survival complexity, and how it's affecting their daily lives.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have any answer.
Something need 1 hour. In Gaza needed 1 day, I think.
Yeah. So everything is lower,
Can you
right?
hear me?
Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
So life is low.
Weak, very weak. Yeah, actually, the internet. Yeah. And
Is this
know,
time you being here
I-
with us? Is it
my
tiring
life
you
is
to be here?
my light here in another phone.
Yeah. Yes. No, this is, I mean, even being with us here, this is such the
It's
complexity.
very horrible, very hard.
Yeah.
Well, can I say something, please?
Please,
Sorry?
Mona, please.
Yeah, well, I think it's a challenge. So
Yes.
either to be or not to be. People now in Gaza live a primitive life, if you see what I mean.
Yes.
They spend hours looking for woods or even plastics. Can you imagine? They set fire in plastics to make fire for the sake of cooking on. So it's really even hazardous for their lungs, for breathing, and they have no other choice. So this is something horrifying and disastrous. So either to be or not to be. So this is life in Gaza now.
Living is resisting, basically.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Existence is resistance. Thank you so much, Mona. Thank you so much, Obey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you think? Who? Ola. Oh. Ola? Is online? Ola Shik, do you want to ask a question on the Q&A? Wait, there is a question. Oh, Ola, can I add something to respond to these questions? Can we open the mic for Ola?
Oh, she's logging about 10 times. Let's try this one. Ola, you should be able to speak now.
Hello, Rahola. You don't have a question, but you want to say something. Can you? We are trying to put you on a speaking. Maybe you can tap into the chat. Allow to talk. Allow to pause. No. Do you want to try to speak, Ola? Or
Muted at the moment. Need to unmute.
she's muted. You're muted, Ola. If you unmute yourself, we should be able to hear you now. We've given you the possibility to talk. No. Okay. I know that our colleagues in Gaza are possibly very tired. I can see, yeah, it's difficult. Okay. Zahid and Jake, do you have anything you want to add? Do you want to close up with a comment, perhaps? That would be, I think, very good.
Sure, salesman.
But yeah, they're selling books, guys. They're selling books for you. This is what they're doing.
Thank you to everyone for coming. Above all,
Do you want to come here? Jake, come here. I think it's better if you close.
Selling books.
He's selling books.
yeah, we just want to say a big thank you to everyone for coming. Please buy the book if you haven't already. The book's selling for £25. As we've said, all the profits go directly to the students in Gaza. Above all, I just want to say thank you to Mona and to all of the students who've joined us today from Gaza. It's a real privilege to have you with us. We're very grateful and honoured for you to join us. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your great efforts. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, so thank you very much for being here with us. We will try to incorporate future events. If this has been a positive experience, let's speak, Mona, maybe we can speak and try to see if we can do any other thing that can give you energy, voice, and any attention from us. They say attention is a very rare commodity in the world, and we would really love to pay attention to you and support in any way. I've got Zahid here that wants to maybe say something to close.
Yeah, sure. No.
And then I speak later about
No, just thanks. I just want everybody to remember something, that these are real voices and real stories, and the ones you've heard in the room as well. And this is a reality, what we see on BBC News, on Al Jazeera. You know, we go out in our activism, we go out protests, we go out to do lots of things, but the reality is these guys, and there are so many of them. With the hunger, with the starvation, we have students who lost. There's a student who lost, I think she used to be 54 and she became 37 and she fainted many times. Now she's 14 as of last Friday. And there are, and these people live with dignity. They don't want you to feel sorry for them. They don't want that.
No, that's right. Yeah.
They want you to stand by them.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want you to feel sorry. So please don't feel sorry for them. They're very strong people. I've learned so much from these guys. I mean, it's incredible. Just keep supporting them. That guy is still smiling, Obey. He can never stop smiling, Obey. And that's the spirit.
Oh, Rawan,
yeah.
nice to see you again.
Hey, Rawan.
We're looking for you.
Rawan is back. And so, yeah, and if anybody wants to help in any way, for these Palestinian people, the students, in any shape or form, please get in touch with me. My email address, or I can give you my WhatsApp, whatever works. And we can do something. This is how it works. You come and tell me this is what you want to do, and I'll try and make it happen. This is something I'm probably good at. That's the only thing I'm good at.
Really good. Anyway, Zahid and Jake, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so lovely students, Rawan, Obey, Batul, Ola, Mona, Miss Mona Kodazer, our, ever-present, wonderful person over there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Just
You are
wanted to
really
say
amazing.
thank you.
You are amazing, Dr. Zahida. Thank you very much, Zahira.
No, really.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, see you so soon.
Yeah.
Salam.
Thank you. We hope to speak to you soon. We hope to speak to you soon.
Inshallah, hopefully.
And I want to make one last announcement. Our next event is on the 6th of November, and we have a Dr. Philip Proudfoot, a fellow from the Institute of Development Studies, one of the most renowned scholars of humanitarianism. On the 6th of November in Jubilee G35 from 4 to 6, the title of this event will be Gaza, the End of Humanitarianism. So it's a really, really important event. If you are on our mailing list, we will keep you informed. Thank you very much. Thank you all for
Please.
coming.
Thank you very much. Okay, salam. Bye-bye. Salam.
Bye-bye, Mona. Bye-bye, Obey. Bye, Rawan. Bye, everyone. Bye, bye-bye.